I was just trying to say a sentence, but apparently that wasn't the only hole that needed to make noise. Warning. The following is intended for mature audiences. It includes references to the use of illicit substances as well as crude humor. Listener discretion is advised. Put a little cheese on that taco, America. I'm Zach Nanimus.
Johnny Dim.
And I want to share with you a story that happened to me. Was it yesterday that I decided to call you?
2 days ago.
2 days ago, I called Johnny Dim because I was in a Taco Bell drive-thru, not trying to brag, and I saw that Taco Bell has a new promotion. What they're doing is if you buy the big box value menu meal, then you will get entered into a competition to...
Contest.
Yeah.
Drawing? Bingo.
I was going to say bingo too. You get entered into a contest to win a PlayStation VR, and it had a picture of the VR on it. And you know what I saw? This! Can you...
put an image there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bum, bum, bum. Can you get that going?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
Yeah, so apparently the PlayStation VR is not only going to be compatible with, but to get the very best VR experience, according to PlayStation, you're going to need the PlayStation camera and motion controllers.
I'm holding them.
Is that one of the options? Did they ask people to do that with the motion controllers?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
I've never used them.
I've played PlayStation motion games, and I remember the second that I saw this, I called you, and I was like, your precious VR revolution is over. It's done. PlayStation is about to kill it.
Yeah, and this is something that that they've been quiet about. I remember hearing about this a few months ago, how the Move stuff was going to be a part of it. Yeah, I mean, I don't own a PlayStation, so I'm kind of glad that I don't own a PlayStation. I can just deal with my Gear VR for a while.
Yeah.
Before I upgrade to a Oculus Rift or Vive or whatever.
For the disenfranchised, which hopefully is many of you, hopefully not a lot of you have accidentally found yourself playing PlayStation Motion, but it is the worst thing. I have played many games in my time. It's not as bad as Unison League, but this thing was nigh unplayable, you know, which made it much more challenging than other games that I deemed to be bad. But nonetheless, it was a big piece of crap. 3 years, at least 3 years after the Wii had already pretty much perfected low-end motion control. They had no idea what they were doing. It was a poor product then, and they're not even upgrading it now for the new system that will have games on it that require its use. Some won't require its use, but some will be designed around the idea that, oh, you have the motion controller. You'll have something in front of you, and the game will know where it is, and then place that in your virtual space for you to pick up and interact with. And you know what won't happen? Any of that. So, yeah,
this is another charge on top of the $400 headset, correct?
$400 for the headset, and no, that's not it. That's not it, because you also if you're going to optimize your PlayStation VR experience, they have their new console.
The PlayStation Pro.
How much is the PlayStation Pro? The
PlayStation Pro is $400.
Okay, so you get the PlayStation Pro for $400. That's $800. And how much is packed for? You also have to get, because nobody has the PlayStation camera and controllers.
Right. So the controllers, all that together, I believe you can get on Amazon for $50.
Okay.
But wait. To use your PlayStation Pro and actually get the full value out of it, you need a 4K TV.
That's right. That was the big thing.
HDR 4K TV.
And okay, how much is a HDR 4K television to optimize your VR experience?
The entry level.
Wait. Okay, that's not fair to say.
Okay.
Okay, because the to optimize your experience, you're strapping something to your head.
Right.
But if you're going to get the PlayStation
Pro,
they already said, you know, if there's any box you're going to check on Santa's wish list, if you're getting that PlayStation Pro, you need that big TV.
You do.
So how much for the whole
entry level?
shebang?
Entry level, we're talking about $700. Now, I didn't check.
$700 gets you the camera, the controllers.
No. $700 was just for the TV.
Oh.
Yeah. So the TV that's entry level TV into the 4K HDR. But I was listening to a podcast recently. You have to be very careful when you're shopping around for your HDR 4K TV because there's different types of HDR. So make sure you get the right kind. You probably just need to buy the priciest one, probably in the $1,200 range. You know, you'll guaranteed get the right HDR. So you get that. Tack that onto your $850. We're talking about maybe $1,500 to $2,000 roughly in that range, depending on what TV you get. So that's what we're talking about.
All I can say is, I think Sony's about to take a bath. I'm not buying into this.
Yeah, and it seems to be because I'm an Xbox fanboy here, but give credit where credit is due. In this generation of consoles, Sony's been wiping the floor with Microsoft. This is probably their biggest misstep so far.
Okay.
Is this new hardware announcements that they're doing?
I will say this is that we can't know yet. All of these changes are going to be just in time for the holidays.
Correct.
That's when the PlayStation VR is in October. Mm-hmm. The Pro goes on sale in November. Yeah. So we don't know yet. Right. There may be people just foaming at the mouth, ready to drop double the price of a console on part of a console. But I am going to say that I'm a PlayStation fan. I have I've had every major game console to come from Microsoft, Nintendo, and PlayStation since the PS1. I played them all. PlayStation is the one I use the most.
I would like to say,
I'm not buying this.
Okay, yeah. And I think, but the thing is like, just to project a little bit in the future about what they may or may not do when all this stuff comes out. I don't think it's looking good because a lot of the press has been very down on them, and usually that's a good sign that things are a little rocky. I listen to a lot of other outlets, media outlets, video game outlets, and nobody is praising Sony right now.
Yeah, it got some lukewarm is what I got from when when they had their big PlayStation update. Is that what they called it?
The meeting?
Yeah, the PlayStation.
They call it the meeting. Yeah.
Go to meeting.com.
Right.
Go to meeting.com if you'd like a PlayStation 4.
The Taco Bell.
That's a guarantee.
Yeah.
That Johnny's on the hook for.
Historically, the companies that produce consoles, let's say that, generally there's a lot of ups and downs. Usually whoever's ahead eventually falls behind. Mm-hmm. And that happened during the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era.
Let's not forget the 32-bit era.
That happened there too.
Nintendo fell behind.
That's true.
Lots of people like to forget. Everybody knows you're going to buy the NX for Zelda. Don't kid yourself.
Oh, the NX?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think what's going to happen is you're seeing this tussle between Microsoft and Sony, and Nintendo's just going to be like they're going to be sneaking around, and they're going to win it.
You know,
with that NX.
If they came out with a console that used current industry standards and produced the biggest names in gaming, yeah, it would do well.
That also was a mobile and a home console.
It was also a food processor. And
toaster.
75 pounds. So you can use it for strength training. Mm-hmm. Also extremely high in fiber.
Oh, absolutely.
So what we can take from all of this is actually a difficult question to answer. This can be a very expensive prospect for somebody who wants to optimize for VR. However, kind of like in The Matrix, there are levels of VR that some consumers may be willing to accept. You can have a less lustrous experience or less refined experience with your VR. That's not what Sony wants you to do.
I think it's very clear what is to come of this. And that is, Sony fans, get your pitchforks. it is time to take them down.
I'm gonna say, Sony fans, it's a video game. Don't have to take it too seriously.
Yeah.
On that note, I think it's time to say goodbye, everybody. That was like a. That was like.
What the hell are you doing?
I was just trying to say a sentence, but apparently that wasn't the only hole that needed to make noise.